It was a dark, cold Saturday night in February as I stood at the kitchen island watching my siblings and cousins dish Chinese food onto their plates as my parents talked about the previous episode of the show they were all gathering to watch. I felt nervous, anxious, and guilty for crashing their watch party as I had important news to share. Do I tell them before the show? Do I wait until after? There really isn't a good time to tell them. My sister knew something was wrong the moment she looked at me. I told her I had something to share with the family as I spooned rice and curry onto my plate, keeping my voice low and head down as I focused on what I was doing so the tears wouldn't fall. As the eldest sibling, there was a moment when I thought I would just keep this to myself and I'll get through this on my own. Even though I may have never known my original family, I felt the burden of all my ancestors who never asked for help when they were sick and the ones who chose to suffer in silence. Once everyone was seated and began eating, I spoke up. I have to share something with everyone. The energy of the room immediately shifted, and all eyes were on me. And like word vomit, I told them the cancer was back. I found a lump in the same spot, and I would be doing this holistically. No chemo, no radiation. In that moment, I was speaking up for all my ancestors who weren't able to speak their truth. Silent. Pushing aside the guilt of knowing the busiest time of the year was amping up, I told my dad I loved him, and I was grateful for the position at the family business I'd held for 15 years, but I loved myself more, and I would not be returning. Ever. I felt this huge weight being lifted off my shoulders, but also a sense of guilt wash over me as no one had any idea I would be dropping this into their laps. I felt obligated to apologize for ruining their night, but I held back because why was I sorry? Sadness was painted on everyone's faces, the underlining concern that I would once again have to move through breast cancer for the second time in 5 years before the age of 40, and being so adamant about not going back to the oncology team who led me through the breast cancer the first time in 2019. And I sure as hell wasn't going to schedule an appointment with the oncologist who happened to be a spitting image of the ex-husband. I was caught off guard when my cousin spoke up as he told me he supports me and loves me and will be there to help with whatever I needed help with. There were tears and then awkward laughter as I had clearly crashed their weekly watch party. I felt relieved and like a 500-pound weight had been lifted off my shoulders. It was an ending of my own suffering and another beginning that I dreaded but felt oddly ready for. In a span of an hour, I had asked for help that spanned generations, lifetimes, timelines, realms, dimensions, verses, and galaxies. All because I spoke up knowing I wasn't going to suffer in silence like I did in 2019. That was the beginning of yet another spiritual awakening, one that dropped me deeper into the darkness of my psyche, my heart, and my soul. What I refer to as the reckoning of everything I thought I knew. A level of discomfort that many, including myself, avoided at all costs. And as I sit here today reflecting on that night and how far I've come, I wouldn't change a thing. Cliché, I know, but it's true.